Enviroline by Supreme Mouldings is a polymer skirting product made by South Africans for South Africans. Manufactured from recycled material, Enviroline is factory pre-finished with a hard-wearing décor layer, is 100% water resistant, does not shrink or warp, is colour fast, highly formable, economical, and most importantly, manufactured locally. A high percentage of recycled material is used in the manufacturing process, making Enviroline an eco-friendly, green alternative to timber skirting profiles. Before beginning to work with the Enviroline skirting, there are some key pieces of equipment that you'll need to complete the job. A miter saw, or miter box and precision saw, tape measure, set square and carpenter's pencil, double cut flat file and fine grit sandpaper, palette knife or scraper, ultramount adhesive and caulking gun, and joiner magic filler. When cutting miters, it's important to ensure that your cutting equipment is up to standard. The most common problem is using incorrect blades. For clean-cut miters on any profile, be it timber or polymer, a fine-toothed cross-cut blade is essential for perfect results. Blade transfer speed is an integral part of mitering Enviroline. Whereas normal skirting requires a slow transfer speed to prevent splintering or tearing, Enviroline requires a fast blade transfer speed due to heat buildup on the blade. Where transfer time for a regular 75mm skirting is around 3 seconds, Enviroline requires only 1 second. If the transfer speed is too slow, chipping or melting of the product will occur, so always ensure cuts are quick and precise. To cut miters on Enviroline, start by bringing the blade close to the start point of the cut. Once contact is made, transferring through the material must be constant and without downward force. When the profile has been mitered, take fine grit sandpaper and gently remove and smooth off any graining that may have built up from the saw blade transfer. Then carefully use a flat double crosscut file to further smooth off the edges. This takes care of any problems from blade deflection or play on the saw that could result in the back of the miter being out of 45 degrees. Where possible, start with an internal miter application. Once your first miter is cut, put the mitered end of the skirting flush in the corner. Where the skirting protrudes past the next corner, hold it in position and draw a vertical line up the back of the profile along the wall using a carpenter's pencil. Use a set square to check if the pencil line is 100% vertical, which will indicate if the wall is at 90 degrees to the floor. Then repeat the process of cutting the miter at 45 degrees, remembering to use quick cuts and taking both the fine grit sandpaper and flat double crosscut file to gently remove and smooth off any graining. If you don't have access to a miter saw, a standard miter box is a simple and inexpensive alternative. And just like the miter saw, a fine-toothed crosscut blade is essential to ensure clean cuts. Hold the skirting in place against the miter box so that the profile won't rock while being cut. Use slow and even cutting strokes without downward force on the saw during the forward cut. Forcing the blade will only cause the profile to move around unnecessarily and result in an out-of-angle miter. Once you are happy with the skirting cut length, miters and corner joins, it's time to apply Ultramount, a fast grip SBS rubber-based construction product with an extremely high final grip. Apply 2 strips of Ultramount to the back of the skirting and immediately push it onto the wall surface and hold in position until the initial grab sets in. This is approximately 20 to 30 seconds. If you make a mistake, the skirting is still repositionable for 15 to 20 minutes after the final grab occurs. On the next piece of skirting, apply more Ultramount and then finish with joiner's magic or other colour-matched filler to the face of the miter. Use a scraper to spread the filler along the miter before joining it against the first piece of skirting along the wall. Then wipe off any excess colour-matched filler that has squeezed out from the miter when the corners were pushed close. When walls are longer than the length of the skirting available, there are 2 types of joins that you can use. Straight joins involve 2 lengths of skirting being mitered at 90 degrees at the join point, and butt joins are mitered at 45 degrees left and 45 degrees right. Both require the same amount of cutting, but the butt joint is neater, looks more professional, and is less prone to pulling open due to shrinkage. When skirting makes a dead end at a door frame or doorway, it's important to use a return mitre application to ensure the skirting is finished professionally, especially when using highly visible pre-finished profiles like Enviroline. To do this, mark the end of the wall on the skirting with a carpenter's pencil and cut a 45 degrees left mitre. Then take a skirting offcut, turned around, and cut another 45 degree mitre before carefully trimming at 90 degrees on the straight cut line. This creates a return mitre block. Apply ultra melt on the back of the skirting and place it on the wall in position. Then apply a small amount of ultra melt to the return mitre block as well and place into position at the end. To add a finishing touch, apply joiner magic filler and wipe clean. And a final note to remember, different techniques are needed when using both ultramelt and joiner filler. Where ultramelt is applied to the back of the profile using a pulling motion, joiner filler is applied at the top of the skirting near the wall by pushing away. Pushing the cartridge and nozzle forces the extruding product downwards, more effectively filling the gap. For more detailed information about Enviroline and its application, please phone Supreme Mouldings customer service or head to the website.